let's get right down to it. Why, how, and who are these rankings coming from? So let's start with my vision and goal to get into the why. I see these rankings as a fun and competitive way to grow the game. Every game from NCAA football to Magic the Gathering to football, baseball, soccer, what is that game? Smash Brothers, Fortnite. They have players ranked, whether it's official or non-official. Obviously, this is non-official. Tennis have people ranked, and it helps grow the competitive scene. In any competitive environment, the main goal of most players is to win and prove you're better than the other players. This provides a system to compare yourself against other players. Hey, you might not have faced one-on-one in a 110-man tournament, just like Worlds. At Worlds, I didn't get to play PJ. I actually don't think I've played PJ in the last year one-on-one. Do I think I could compete with PJ? Yes, but that's only because of how I've seen myself play against him or against players that he's also played in the same tournaments. We've just not happened to be matched up. PJ might be able to correct me on that, but I don't think we've been matched up at all. But that's my goal, is to be able I want these rankings to get those players on the verge of becoming competitive to see the community and think, wow, I'd like to be recognized as one of the best in the game. And then go out there and strive to start beating every person on the list. Steve DiCarlo is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. On my first rankings, say mine, as there's 19 other voters for the first ranking. On the first rankings, he was in the honorable mentions. He only had, I think, like 15 or 20 votes, or points, I should say. And he made it a point that he commented on this stuff. He's like, I got to go out there and make a point and show people that I'm better than this. And he did. He rose in the rankings. I kind of just gave that away, but yeah, he did well this rankings, and just because he went out and he did well at the tournament that had other high level players at it. So it's all there for the taking if you're just willing to put in the work. Crispy and Milk. I don't know who you are, but I like the name and I love Doritos, so thank you. Now to the second question I get most. How do I get these rankings? Well, I asked prominent podcasters, players, team captains, judges, to submit their own top 15 list. I asked them to only include the last calendar year in their considerations and to rank them in their own opinion. So somebody could... these rankings aren't just about wins and losses. Many voters base their rankings on playstyle, map awareness, team building, performance, positioning, and many other aspects of the game. And it's a very complicated game. So after I compile all of these lists, I use the same system most ranking systems use for points. First place gets 15 points, 14 for second place, third place gets 13, all the way down to 14th place getting 2 points and 15th getting 1 point. That way you can get an average of placement and can accurately compile a final list of rankings by their points. So if somebody has somebody in first place, but the other 24 voters have them less than 10, he's going to average down towards the 10s. And that's just how it's supposed to see. Rick Leo. Well, congrats on your Team World win. I do remember seeing you at Worlds. I never got to meet you personally, but thanks for joining in on the podcast. The stream. Now, the last question, and in some people's eyes, is the biggest question, is who is getting to vote? Well, a few trusted people and I thought about prominent players, podcasters, team captains, judges in different regions and decided to add them to the voter list. I wanted to get a broad scope of opinions and not focus in just one area of the country. So I have people all the way from I have Chip Barnett and Jordan B up in the Pacific Northwest. I have Lindy Farrell and Brad Milburn. They're coming together and made one list. I asked them to do that for me. I have people down West Coast from Aaron Cantu and Patrick Yapoko. Then I have Kenny up in the Northeast. I have Paris down in Texas. I have Dustin Cedars down in Texas. I got some people in the Midwest from Randy Carter, Dan, PJ, myself down in Florida, Howard Brock in Alabama. I tried to get someone out in Colorado this time. He wasn't able to do it this time of his life. He said next time when life's calmed down, he'd get to it. I got people out in Arizona, more people down in Texas, some people up in Canada. So the list you'll be able to see. But this quarter's rankings have more people to include Carolinas, North Texas, not just Houston area, Oklahoma, Georgia, and the Pacific Northwest. So hopefully we got more of a reach to the different regions and that people are being able to see more games and put in their opinions. One of the stipulations for the voting for me was that one person couldn't be on just one person's list. So if, say I got a vote from Howard Brock and he put a local as the number 3 player on his list, if no other person has noticed that this player has been any good in the last year, then he's probably shouldn't be number 3 on someone's list or on the list at all. So in my opinion, and some of the people who maybe think or help me come up with the stipulations of this, is if you're not on more than one person's radar, then you haven't been out there enough and in competitive scene enough to follow these, to be included into a ranking. So if you're on one person's list, then you automatically fall off. So if you see any of the names that I say tonight or in the post I make later or the Majestics podcast article that is going to be released later tonight or tomorrow, you will see names that every single person on there is either on 2 or more voters list. So now let's get to what all of you are here for, and that is the actual rankings. So let's go through and do this. Go over here. All right, so number 15 started off. I'm just going to say I really think this person has taken off, and I'm really excited for him to be on the list, and you'll see why in a second. Number 15, I should say, Micah Love. He got 44 points, and he was not ranked in the previous ranking. Micah was on 11 voters list, with his highest ranking being 9th. He was not on the rankings last quarter and showed out at Worlds to finish a strong year as a bright and upcoming star. He also was not able to make it to Rock Cup because he's dumb and got grounded. But he was at Nationals. He had a pretty good showing at Nationals, going in as I think the 3 seed, if I remember correctly, at Nationals. I think he made top 8. You might have to correct me on that, but I think top 8. I can't remember off the top of my head. I did a lot of research with different people. But he's had a great year. Hopefully he can continue it in 2019 and keep showing out. Number 14 is Jay Major. Jay was on our list last time. He was in the number 15 slot, so he's going up 1 slot to number 14. It's probably because he is continuously doing well and placing high. Jay was on 15 voters list, with his highest ranking being 6th place. Jay moved up 1 slot from the original rankings. His performance at Rock Cup showcased his skills as a player. He was in top 4. Top 4. I played Dan. No, top 8. Anybody's grounded shouldn't be on the list. All right, Alex. He deserved it. He did great. But Jay was in top 8, top 4. Jay was in top 8. he played Matty G in top 8 at Rock Cup and lost to Matty G, who then lost in top 4. Yeah, so he lost in top 8. So he had a great showing there. I don't recall how he did at Nationals though, off the top of my head. I should have written this stuff down, but hey, here I am. On to number 13, we have Matt Esbrook. Matt was on 11 voters list with his highest ranking being 4th. Matt had a strong showing at Worlds to bring him out of the honorable mentions to 13th. He was not ranked, but he was an honorable mention last rankings. He got 4th place at Worlds and won teams at Rock Cup. Matt has been in the picture for a long time and don't expect him to go anywhere anytime soon. He's a great player. I played him in the finals. It actually came down to mine and his match at the finals of Team Rock Cup. And Jay didn't compete in Nationals, was top 16 at Worlds. I knew he was top 16 at Worlds. I just couldn't remember his placement at Nationals. I thought I said he got to it, whatever. But anyways, back to Matt. Matt has been in the picture for a long time. Don't expect him to go anywhere. He's a great player. I played him in the finals, and we had a stellar game. It came down to the last few rolls. His placement was amazing, and his pick of Impervious is what did me in when he killed my Thor Destroyer, not the Prime, just the normal one. But he did great and was a lot of fun to play against. Number 12, Adam Freeman. Adam actually fell 2 slots, only getting 64 points. He was on 9 voters list with his highest ranking being 6th. His inability to make it to Worlds this year was probably why he fell some. He wasn't able to show up probably because of work, personal reasons. That happens. A lot of people aren't able to make things. But his strong play at Rock Cup and other tournaments through the year kept him on the list. So he didn't completely fall out or get bumped off the list just for not going to Worlds. So I want to be able to show people that this isn't just about Worlds and what happened at Worlds. The Rock Cup was taken into effect. All the WKOs were taken into effect. How they did at Nationals was important. So just keep that in mind. Number 11, George Masu, 126 points. He got 1 first place vote. He did go down 4 slots though. I have a long write-up vote, George. Let's see if I can move my face here so you can see the write-up real quick. Okay, there we go. Let's move it over here for now. Okay, let's see if that updated. All right, so George was on 16 voters list with his highest ranking being 1st. He received 1 first place vote this quarter, just like he did last. Not the same person though. George did fall 4 slots, and in my opinion, that's only because he doesn't participate in rock events, which hurts his exposure throughout the year. Maybe with the merger, he will play more. I got to play him for the first time the other day on stream, which was really awesome. We played a unconventional tactics game, and it was a lot of fun. I ended up pulling it out in the end, but it was a pretty close game. I thought he was going to have me at one point, but it was a lot of fun. Good thing the votes were already in before the match because he would have fallen for losing to me. But you know what? It's okay. I'm just kidding, George. Had a lot of fun. Thanks again for playing me on stream. And number 10. Let's go to number 10. Matt Grechunos. Matt was on 22 voters list with his highest ranking being 6th. Matt fell 1 slot, and to be honest, that's probably more likely to be because he didn't make top cut at Worlds. Don't get me started on the horrible cut and how they hasn't been kids that did it. I think if they would have cut to top 32, a lot of people like Matt would have been able to make the cut and get those extra wins they needed in the elimination rounds, but wasn't, and hey, whatever. Matt got top 4 at Rock Cup and Nationals as well as winning multiple events throughout the year. Look for him and George to be playing a high stakes matchup on the stream, maybe a little later down the road. That's what they're planning on. I was supposed to do that this weekend. I was supposed to teach Matt how to play on Roll20 and totally forgot. He also didn't hit me back up, so this is your fault too, Matt. Blame you. Number 9, Steve DiCarlo. He got 140 votes, and he was not ranked. Steve was on 17 voters' list with the highest ranking of 2nd. Steve was an honorable mention in last rankings, and strong play at the Majestics Open, taking down Dan Powell, really raised his stock in many people's eyes. His missed top cut at Worlds is probably the only blemish on his record as of late. The dude was on fire this year, winning multiple WKAs and Majestics events. Keep an eye on him, and I hope he is able to travel more to the larger events in the upcoming year. Like I said, not being able to make the cut at Worlds with the horrible cut isn't really on some of these players. It's really on how the tournament ended up going down, but like I said, it's in the past. Let's move on. I didn't say that, but I am saying it now. Number 8, Dustin Cedars. Dustin was on 22 voters list with his highest ranking being 5th. Dustin is at the same ranking as last quarter. His innovative teams and strategies are some of my favorite in the game. Like when I sat down across from him at Worlds and I looked across and saw what he was running, I was like, how does this even work? Why is he at the second table in the last round of Swiss? And you just watch how he plays it and his mentality and his finesse on some of those pieces, and it's just like, okay, I get it now. I get how that did well and why it's doing well. I ended up barely taking it. It was a really close game between me and him. Came down to time. But I always have great games. I don't think I've ever won by more than like 20 or 30 points against Dustin. And he belongs on this list. I put him a little higher, but that's my personal opinion. I actually called that he would win Worlds. I thought he would have the best chance to come up with something crazy to win, and he didn't disappoint. He did really well. I think he only lost 2 games the whole time. I don't care if you're sick, Matt. I can't control your Dan was sick too. He went down. Well, didn't go down, but you'll see. All right. Tom Kerr is in number 7, 193. You were all sick this all weekend. Okay, yeah, I get it. I thought you meant at National or Worlds. Never mind. Well, just hit me up when you are ready to learn again. Tom, I got 193 votes. He actually went down 2 slots. He didn't make the cut at Worlds either. But again, I'm just going to skip the whole Worlds cut thing. I think he would have made it 32. Tom was 22 on 22 voters list with his highest being 3rd. Tom fell 2 slots, but did get to see his Gotham City team take 2nd at Worlds. His luck at Worlds wasn't as favorable though. He had a stellar year winning the Canadian Rock Nationals as well as 2nd at Rock Cup. So he did win 2 major events, so he did really well. Or he won a major event and got 2nd at Rock Cup, which is a stellar year. Number 6, Isaac Arnold Berkowitz. 257 votes with 1 first place vote. He dropped 3 slots. Isaac was on 24 voters list and got 1 first place vote. Isaac fell 3 slots as well as and he also lost 3 first place votes. Last time he had 4 first place votes. His Nationals title maybe didn't hold as much weight after the Worlds tournament, which is why I think he dropped a few in the number 1 voting, where he went out in top 16. He actually went out against me, and it was, to be completely honest, he played a magnificent game. I just hit an impervious role that he needed me to miss. And I was able to recover from that and end up winning the game. So it all came down to an impervious role, and if I miss that, he wins, and he maybe wins the whole thing. So who knows? His continued success and consistent placements are always making us wonder when he will find love and give us a chance at the game. Yes, the banana. Number 5, me. I have 259 points. I got 1 vote. I didn't get 1 vote. I got went up one rank. I was on all 25 lists with the highest rank of second. I rose one spot since the last rankings. Although I have no titles, my accomplishments this year seem decent. I got top 4 in both major tournaments this year, as well as multiple smaller wins throughout the year, including 3 state titles. I think I'm great. You don't have to. Thanks. Number 4. It might be the 10-year challenge pick. Actually, I think it's older than 10 years. I'm old. Not many people know that I'm already 31, about to be 32 later this year. So I think I was like 19 in that picture. It's like 12 years. So thanks for noticing, though. I appreciate it. PJ, he is number 4. He was on the all 25 voters list with a highest ranking of second. PJ fell 2 slots from last quarter's ranking, is probably due to his missing the cut at Worlds once again. His top 32 at Rock Cut and his consistent winning outside of major events kept him at the top of most lists. Never sleep on PJ and his crazy builds. I love the dude. I've made sure to include Kat, his wife, in here because Kat is my Korean taco friend, and last time we were at Rock Cup at Atlanta, and I wish we could go back to Atlanta just for that Korean taco place. It was really good. Anyways, I was thinking about food now. So PJ, awesome guy. He's one of the best in the community. Just personality and everything. Number 3, Tyler Spees. Tyler was on 24 voters list with 5 first place votes. He rose 9 slots, and it definitely was because of his win at Worlds. His loss in top 16 to Dan at Rock Cup after going undefeated in Swiss was very disappointing. If he didn't lose to Dan in Swiss, then he probably loses to me in the next round. No, I'm just kidding. He did really well, and I really do think that if he would have gotten past Dan's 3 rollouts, 2 rollouts against, he needed a 6, I think he would have won the whole tournament. That team was gross. Luckily, he didn't have to worry about Dan knocking him out of Worlds and went on to beat Easton in the finals to win it. So I chose this pick specifically because it is a bad pick. I have even worse ones that we have in our team chat, but I couldn't do it. I was like, no, I can't do that to him. So number two is Easton Brock, 299 points, 7 first place votes, plus 3 in the voting. He was on 24 voters list with 7 first place votes. Easton rose 2 spots and gained 7 first place votes. He had none last time. Yes, Tyler, somebody left you completely off their vote. He went from not making the cut at Nationals to losing to Dan in top 8 at Rock Cup to second at Worlds. So he consistently got his placements better this year. I think he played 2 I think he won a regional and a super Q off the top of my head. Outside of those 3 major events, did well all year, always in the top cut, consistently placing high. In my opinion, though, he is a little higher than I expected, only because there's a lack of participation throughout the year. The year before, his name was everywhere. He was winning everything, and he got second to Dan, and then at Worlds he got 4th. Lost to Matt, and then he won Team Worlds and Nationals. So I mean, it is what it is. But in my opinion, it was a little high. I love the dude. I think he's awesome. Yes, someone left Easton off. Well, I mean, if you don't make Nationals, then you don't make, or you lose top cut. I mean, some people are special. I'll just say that. His gameplay is almost always flawless and never can him out of any game he's in. Number 1. Well, I want you to look at this. Look at 299 points, 293 points, and then 301 points. That Dan barely squeaked this out. Dan was on all 25 voters list and received 9 first place votes. Actually, that's 10 first place votes. I forgot to fix that in the text. 10 first place votes because I had someone submit theirs late after I'd already started typing up the PowerPoint. 10 first place votes. His sickness at Worlds affected his gap in the lead, but he's still held in there to retain his #1 spot. With the third place at Nats, first at Rock Cup, and a ton of wins across the year, has cemented him as the top of 2018. Like, I don't think many people can argue that winning back-to-back Rock Cups, third at Nationals, and his just play throughout the year. Yeah, how are you forgetting about Derek blow your face off? Yes, you will find out who the voters are. There will be a post that has all of that information. There's also a Majestics article going to be posted. You can all PM Patrick at the same time and ask him when it's going to be posted. Here is the official rankings, as you can see. As the honorable mentions at the bottom, the Jalen Major, Kenji, Andrew placed Bertner, who actually got the very last first place vote. David Ellis, DJ Riggin, Scott Crampton, Paris Gordon, Ed, Sam, Abdul, Randy Carter, Warren Jin, Wes Summers, Zach Coffey, Matt Donham, and Edward Shelton. Aries, I'm sorry, there's no 16, and you're definitely not it. So there's definitely a lot of great people on this list. Some people fell off. Scott fell off the list. Paris, I think he was an honorable mention last time as well. Ed was definitely on the list last time. He fell off. There's a few people who just completely fell off the list from the first time. Should be 3, right? 1, 2, 3. I just named 2. I can't remember. I don't really care that much right this second. But if you want to know the third, you can PM me and I'll tell you the third. Blow my screen off the face. You know what, Kuz? Why don't you go do something with your life, like raise your kids? So that's it for the rankings, guys. Appreciate. Oh wait. Oh, I get it. Move my face off. My bad. There we go. Are those rock points? Yes, and they are transferable. So, Andrew placed Bertner. He was a national champion, I believe, or something. He does play. He's pretty good. See, PJ voted for him. People do know who he is. So make sure y'all just keep your eye out. We try to post most of the So we try to post as many of the results in Clixed off as we can. So make sure y'all are in that group. Remember, this month during Troll and Toad, or on Troll and Toad, you can type in Clixed off to save 5% on all HeroClix transactions. And remember, if you go to the Clixed off page, not the actual group, but the actual Clixed off itself page, and you can comment on the post of your favorite, share a picture, video, artwork, or meme, and you could win a chance, or have a chance to win a brick of Earth X. No one knows who that DJ Riggin guy is, but hey, whatever. Yes, this list does suck. I'm happy for your opinion, sir. So, anybody have any questions before I go ahead and get off of here? Once again, I will do this again since nobody was in here earlier for me to do it. So, hold on 1 second. Yeah. Everybody, this is my cat, Gato Kitty. He's a badass cat. Say hi, Gato. Say hi. Meow. Meow. Okay. Bye, Gato. Alright, let's listener questions. Why is Randy in front of Warren? Because somebody doesn't know how to do graphics correctly, and you should be below Warren. Can you stop smelling my hand? Thanks. No, I actually didn't make. I didn't make this. What's it called? This graphic. Someone else did. I'm not gonna put anybody out there, but hey, whatever. Yes, I'm going to do this again topless on my private channel. It's on Snapchat. It's Snapchat Premium. Please don't report me to the IRS, but hit me up if you want to know my Snapchat handle to follow me and can make some fun. Did Tyler already design a figure? I don't know. Tyler, did you already? Oh, yes, Captain Venom, for sure. That is exactly what happened. I think they did that and they were like, man, we want to see Monsters win more. And then they're like, oh shit, we have that thing coming out next month and Monsters just won the freaking world tournament. When will people be voting next? So I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do, so I can't decide if I'm going to do it in quarters or a half year. Or because from January to June, there's not much that happens, but they're supposed to change. So I'll probably do them after January, February, March. So the first one will be starting in April, and then that will be based off of April of last year to April of this year. So I'll probably do another one right in April, May time frame, and then I'll do another one in the June time frame. I'll do one again in the October time frame, and then a lot of stuff afterwards. So I'm going to try to do it quarterly. Quarterly is my goal. I forgot that States moved into the April time frame, so I might do it right after States, right before Nats. But quarterly is my eventual goal, so we'll see if I can keep that on track. It's actually a lot of work. So you think that you can just make some awesome Excel spreadsheet where you can just plug these numbers in and do it, and it's like not that easy. Like you have to put in a lot of factors. If someone is a god at Excel and wants to help me out, I tried to recruit my brother to do this, and he's like, I don't have the time to do that. I got a real fucking job. So, or freaking job, sorry. A real freaking job. So if somebody wants to, help me out with figuring out how to do an Excel worksheet, he's a lawyer now. I can't just get Adam to do it. But I'll see if I can do some research on Excel and figure it out too. All right. All right. Well, everybody, Jalen, you did make it. You made it to 16th, tied for 16th. You and Kenji got 16th. Your dad beat you out again. Good luck, Matt. I'm actually pretty good with Excel, and I can't figure this shit out. It's stupid. But thank you, everybody. I'm going to go make the post and Clixed off. I'll probably share it in HIE and Clixed off or Rock Online. So I need a recount. All right. Yeah. Let me get right on that, Jalen. I'll recount it for you. Maybe I got you and your dad's name mixed up. I'll go back and check for you just in case. But everybody, I appreciate it again. Thanks for coming out and tuning in, I should say, not coming out. For tuning in, and have a good night and good luck in all your tournaments coming up. Hope to see y'all. Oh wait, don't forget to hit that follow button at the top. If you want to subscribe, remember it's free if you're Amazon Prime. If you're not Amazon Prime, it costs money, so you don't really have to do all that stuff. This is for fun and for free. I want people to enjoy this, build a community, get more people out there to be able to watch stuff, learn stuff. But definitely hit that follow button. Followers are awesome. Subscribers are not mandatory. Subscribers are awesome too. But thanks again. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.